Hey guys, what's up? It's me again, um, with a new video for you guys. Um, this one is going to be over the light at the end of the tunnel, or perhaps the lack thereof. Um, something I think about a lot, but I guess I haven't spoken yet about it on this channel. Today is a low day, I suppose. Not entirely sure, honestly. I've been feeling off. Um, for better or for worse, I suppose. Um, when I say there's no light at the end of the tunnel, I suppose it's maybe twofold. If we're talking about the tunnel itself is probably like raw humanity when you're talking about like the struggle of like what it means to exist, right? Um, what it means to like wander and experience. That is kind of life. At the mouth of the tunnel, right? You look at it and you begin to embark on whatever quest that is, whether that's a goal, whether that's a person, whether it's a job, regardless of what it is, you have um, a great struggle that you embark on. And that struggle could be one of restraint as well. It doesn't necessarily have to be too specific, but the issue I have found is that the end of the tunnel is simply a reflection of the start of it. Um, when you exit and you've succeeded at what you were doing, it's the same soft, loamy soil. It's the same sun. It's the same air. It's all the same, right? Because once you're finished with the struggle, you don't struggle necessarily to like elevate yourself. You struggle to like survive, I suppose. It's not like you stop being on the same planet. It's not like you ascend to like a different plane of existence. You simply finish your struggle. Um, and the struggle, the wandering, almost like your personal adventure and your struggles are that's life. I suppose that's like your humanity. And then afterwards, I suppose what you've accomplished in in service of all that struggle, the goal, um, that that isn't actually very much, right? It's the journey, it's the relationships and friends and experience you've gained along the way that makes you into the person you are. Um, the foraging of you into your final form is almost the best part of being alive. Um, it's very interesting because the the end of the tunnel just means that you're going to have to live with the fact that you can never again experience what it was like to get to that part, right? Because once you've finished it, once you've succeeded, you haven't failed. A lot of people think about, oh, I failed, I'll never know what it's like to succeed, or what it's like at the end of the tunnel, because everybody's always thinking about the end of the tunnel. But when you reach there, you realize that those times spent struggling, knowing that you may or may not make it, but you did anyway, that is a level of satisfaction, a level of fulfillment that you probably can't reach in any other capacity. And then you have to like tend to your farm after after finishing like what is like a life spanning adventure. And how do you ever do that? um i don't think I don't think you do. I don't know if many people do, because I suppose the people that I've talked to, and then me myself, I suppose I loved every second of what it took to get to where I am. And now that I'm here, it is okay, I guess. I want for very little. um I don't exactly know how to even broach that either, because now that I am in a position to where I guess I could talk to most people, I could probably get more notoriety, I could probably earn more money. I could do a bunch of things if I really wanted to. But now that I'm comfortable where I'm at, there isn't really a point. I don't really have a taste for it. Um, there are few things that I enjoy doing and fewer things that I'm motivated to do. And I keep coming back to the question, like, why? Why would I do anything? Um, why would I find somebody to spend time with? Why would I earn a bigger check? Why would I get in a bigger house? Like what's the point? What's the point of like anything? Because once you've reached a lot of the goals, right? Like a lot of the dreams in your head, you're like, um, you might think things are good for different reasons, right? You may be like, if I have a partner and me and my partner do X and Y, or maybe if I'm just in shape and then I look like this or I look like that, or maybe if I get good enough socially, or maybe if I get this skill, right? And then you get there, and none of these, um, none of these things materialistically like get you to actually where you're trying to go. You're weirdly enough, you're probably figuring out where you want to go while you're going in service of something that really doesn't matter. Because as somebody with no experience, you probably can't even fathom really what you're looking for in life. Um, you don't even know exactly what you want. You have some kind of maybe like carnal or materialistic desire, but you can't actually you can't put it into like words or thoughts. You're not even plugged in enough to see what would be the end of the tunnel for you, let alone to reach it and then be disappointed. You're like, it's just so far back from there. um I don't know. I don't even know what to do about that, honestly. I think about it all the time and I'm like, what do I want? Like, what is the goal? Why do I wake up every day? And to some extent, I think it's just been like curiosity for the most part. Sometimes I enjoy like going further. Like for example, not to be like too conceited, but like I've there are points in my life where I've been decently attractive. This is probably the most attractive I've ever been. That's a very satisfying thing for me, right? Um, I went from 188 pounds and then I lost 46 pounds and I was 142, and then now I'm at 155, I think. And I essentially put on, I think the last 4 or 5 months, I put on like 8 pounds of muscle, something like a pretty ridiculous amount of muscle. And I work out like I have like two brain cells, right? Like I truly have no idea what I'm doing. I don't go to a gym. I just do push-ups and I run around and I eat a bunch of rice and chicken and kind of hope for the best, right? That's really all I do. I don't necessarily know what I'm doing, but I look good as a consequence. All my clothes fit better, everything works better. And the curiosity of every time, many times in my life, probably when I was around like 16, probably when I was around 20, and probably around now, I would look at myself in the mirror and be like, wow, like you made it. You're finally, you look good, right? Or sometimes I'd be looking at myself and when I was perhaps a significantly worse person, right? And I kind of had my whole business going, we'll say. I'd look at myself in the mirror and be like, you made it. Like you at like 11 would be super proud of where you are now. And that same me looked at me back when I was streaming another game that I really, really loved. And I looked at myself streaming that game and I was like, wow, you really made it, right? And then that crashed and burned. And then now I look at myself now and I'm like, well, I mean, you made it, I guess, right? Like every single time, I find myself a few years away from myself, I can look in the mirror and say, wow, like you have completed more goals than you had originally set for yourself, or things that you've always wanted to do. But none of these things are fulfilling. So, like, right now, perhaps I'm looking to maybe make this channel into something worth a damn, I guess. Maybe looking for some kind of like interpersonal success like that. I mean, because on the primary, like I have like a gaming channel, which is it's cool, I guess. Like it's not bad, right? But I feel like gaming, perhaps I'm a little past that, right, compared to where I was. And then now I want to be more seen for my own thoughts, I suppose. Then I also want to publish and I want to write and I want to do those type of works. Um, and there's only been there's only been like two times in my life where I felt like real fulfillment. One of which was hitting like masters in League of Legends in season 8, and that was like a really big thing for me. And another was finishing like the ending to one of my poetry compendiums. Right, and those two times, I think in my entire life, I have made something and felt so satisfied about it. I could call it fulfillment. It was that good. Um, but then, you know, these things ebb and flow. These things come and go, and I am a little scared because if I can satisfy these conditions once again, and I can perhaps monetize them or make them sustainable. If they don't give me what I'm looking for, what can give me what I'm looking for? What is left? What's left for me to do? I want for like nothing. I want for something to want for, perhaps, but I also don't want to fix myself, right? It's not like I want to go to therapy and have like a therapist tell me to, this is how I'm going to fix it, or this is the work you have to do, or something like that. Like, it's not something that interests me or something I want. I also don't want things to fall in my lap, but I want to be able to do them on my own. Anyway, so I have the last couple things I'm looking to do before I check out and such. Yeah, anyway, I don't know. This was supposed to be a video that was a little more positive about the journey and the struggle and how that was cool, and the harder you struggle, generally the more fulfilling it is. I guess I don't struggle very much, so it's not very fulfilling. Perhaps that could change with time. I'm not sure. Anyway, good luck, boys. Try not to be too sad about life. I know it's hard sometimes. Or be sad. Honestly, it doesn't really matter.